Admiral Kang Hyun stood on the bridge of her flagship, the heavy cruiser Incheon. Through the large windows she could see the stars of the Proxima system, 3 jumps away from the outer colonies. Her fleet floated in perfect formation around her, ship 30 vessels that looked like ordinary patrol cruisers and destroyers. The Galaxy thought the 7th Fleet was just another group of aging human ships with tired crews. The Galaxy was completely wrong. "Admiral, priority message coming in on Ghost Protocol 7, announced Communications Officer Shin Yoonji. Her voice was tight with excitement. Ghost Protocol 7 was the emergency channel that had never been used before, not once in 5 years. Hyewan walked quickly to the communications station. Only 3 people in her entire fleet knew about the Ghost protocols. If someone was using it now, the situation was very bad indeed. "Put it through," she ordered. The message appeared on the screen after several seconds of heavy decoding. The words were simple but carried enormous weight. "Ghost Protocol 7, Kepler Station. They need us now." The message came from Captain Nam Ji-hoon of the Silent Thunder. Hyewon knew Ji-hoon well. He was one of her best officers, commanding the most advanced ship that humanity had ever built. If he was calling for help using the Ghost Protocol, then everything was about to change. "Get me Rear Admiral O. Woo-jin," Hyewan said. Woo-jin's face appeared on the main screen within minutes. He was a tough man with gray hair and scars from old battles. He commanded the fleet's heavy ships from the destroyer Seoul, which carried weapons that could crack planets. "Admiral, I saw the message," Woo-jin said. "Are we really going to do this?" Hyewan looked around her bridge at the officers who had kept Earth's biggest secret for 5 years. They were good people who had trained for this moment, knowing it might never come. While the Galaxy thought humanity was slowly losing the war against alien raiders, Earth's best scientists had been building something incredible. "Signal all ships," she said. "We're going to war." The 7th Fleet was not what it appeared to be. Each ship had been completely rebuilt with experimental technology that the Galaxy had never seen. Quantum armor that could adapt to any attack, gravity weapons that could crush enemy vessels like tin cans, computer systems that made human reflexes seem slow. Captain Bae Soo-young appeared on another screen. She commanded the heavy cruiser Seoul, which looked like an ordinary warship but carried the fleet's most deadly secret. Hidden inside her ship was an antimatter lance, a weapon that could destroy planets. "Admiral, all weapon systems are ready," Soo-young reported. "The Seoul can fire at any time." "What about the stealth squadron?" Hyewan asked. Commander Song Taemin brought up a tactical display showing 6 invisible ships scattered around the fleet. "All stealth destroyers are in position. The enemy won't know they exist until it's too late." The stealth destroyers were copies of the Silent Thunder, built in hidden shipyards in the asteroid belt around Earth. Each one could become completely invisible and strike without warning. Together they were the most dangerous squadron in human space. "Admiral," Woo-jin said carefully, "once we reveal these ships, we can never go back. The entire galaxy will know that we've been hiding our real strength." Hyewan nodded. For years, humanity had played a dangerous game. They let alien species think humans were weak and desperate, barely able to protect their colonies. Meanwhile, Earth's military had been secretly preparing for war. The plan was simple but risky. If enemies thought humans were weak, they would not fear them. When the time came to show the truth, the shock would be overwhelming. No one would want to fight an enemy that had been pretending to lose while building the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. "Ma'am, our scouts are sending reports," announced Lieutenant Park Jisoo from the sensor station. "The Vorthak have sent their entire battle fleet to attack Kepler Station. If we can destroy them there, we'll break their power forever." Hyewon studied the tactical information. 3 Vorthak dreadnoughts, hundreds of fighters, and 50,000 civilians trapped in the middle. It was exactly the kind of situation the 7th Fleet had been created to handle. "How long to reach the station?" she asked. 15 minutes to jump into attack position," replied the navigation officer. Hyewon looked at her senior officers on the bridge and on the screens around her. These people had trained for years for this moment. They knew that once they jumped to Kepler Station, the secret would be revealed. Humanity would no longer be able to hide its strength. "Are we ready for this?" she asked quietly. Woo-jin smiled grimly. "Admiral, we've been ready for 5 years. It's time to show the galaxy what we really are." Captain Soo-young's face was serious on the communication screen. "Ma'am, permission to speak freely?" Go ahead, Captain. The people on that station are Korean families just like our families back home. They went to the edge of space to build better lives for their children. Now aliens are trying to kill them simply because they're human. We cannot let that happen. Around the bridge, officers nodded in agreement. Many of them had relatives scattered across the colonies. Some had come from mining stations just like Kepler. Signal all ships, Haiwan ordered. Prepare for hyperspace jump. We're going to save our people and send a message that the entire galaxy will remember. The fleet began to move into jump formation. 30 ships arranged themselves in a precise pattern, their hulls beginning to glow with the energy needed for faster-than-light travel. Hidden weapons systems came online, shields that could stop planet killer beams activated, computers that could think faster than any living mind prepared for. Battle, all ships report ready for jump, announced the communications officer. Hwan walked to the main view screen and looked out at her fleet. In a few minutes, they would arrive at Kepler's station and everything would change. The aliens who had been destroying human colonies would learn that Earth had been watching and preparing. The Vorthak thought they were fighting helpless miners and weak patrol ships. They were about to discover that they had declared war on the most advanced military force in known. Space, execute jump, she ordered. Space tore open in front of the fleet as 30 hyperspace rifts appeared at once. The 7th Fleet vanished from the Proxima system, racing through dimensions toward their destiny at Kepler Station. Behind them, space was empty except for the fading energy of their departure. But at Kepler Station, 50,000 people were about to learn that Earth had not forgotten them. Help was coming from the home world, and it was more powerful than anyone had dared to imagine. Captain Nam Ji-hoon floated in the darkness of space, watching the dying station through his ship's view screen. The silent thunder hung invisible in the void, hidden by technology that made it disappear from enemy sensors. For 3 days he had watched the Vorthak ship slowly destroy Kepler Station, killing thousands of innocent people. The station was breaking apart. Huge pieces of metal drifted away into space like leaves falling from a dead tree. Green fires burned in the sections where the aliens had hit with their weapons. Ji-hoon could see bodies floating in the vacuum, people who had been sucked out when the hull cracked open. His hands gripped the arms of his captain's chair. For 2 years he had been hunting these alien killers across the galaxy. His ship was special, built with human technology mixed with alien science stolen from crashed Vorthak vessels. It could become invisible, move faster than anything else, and hit much harder than its small size suggested. But it was still just one ship against 3 massive alien dreadnoughts. Captain, they're charging their main guns again, said Lieutenant Yu Kang-ho from the weapons station. Kang-ho was young but smart, one of the best gunners in the secret fleet. They're going to finish off the station. Ji-hoon looked at his crew. 27 people, all volunteers who had lost everything to the Vorthak. His engineer Lee So-man had watched her parents die when the aliens destroyed Titan Colony. His pilot Kim Dong-yeon's wife and children were killed in the attack on New Seoul. Every person on this ship had a reason to hate the aliens. They also knew that fighting 3 dreadnoughts was suicide. The Silent Thunder was tough and fast, but not tough enough to survive a direct battle with the entire enemy fleet. Sir, the station won't last another attack, Kang-ho said quietly. If we're going to help them, it has to be now. Ji-hoon stood up from his chair. Through the view screen, he could see the Vorthak ships preparing to fire their final shots. 48,000 people were still alive on that station, and in 30 seconds they would all be dead. All hands battle stations, he announced over the ship's speakers. We're going to save those people. The crew moved quickly to their positions. They had done this before, appearing from nowhere to strike at alien raiders, but they had never fought 3 capital ships at once. Take us out of stealth mode, Ji-hoon ordered. The Silent Thunder appeared on the Vorthak sensors like a ghost becoming real. The alien ships immediately forgot about the station and turned toward this new threat. Their massive guns swung around looking for the small human vessel. They're launching fighters, Kang-ho reported. 300 of them heading our way. Ji-hoon smiled without humor. Good. Let them come to us. The Vorthak fighters swarmed toward the Silent Thunder like angry wasps. They had destroyed human ships before and expected another easy victory. The small human vessel just floated there, not moving, apparently waiting to die. Stealth mode active, announced pilot Kim Dong-yeon. We're invisible again. The alien fighters reached the spot where the Silent Thunder had been, but found nothing there. They flew in confused circles, searching for their target with sensors that could not find what they could not see. Behind them, the human ship reappeared and fired its special weapons. Quantum torpedoes shot through space, passing through the alien fighters' shields as if the shields did not exist. The torpedoes exploded inside the enemy ships, tearing them apart from within. 15 Vorthak fighters died in the first attack. The others spun around, trying to find the ship that had killed their friends, but the silent thunder was already gone. "Jump to attack position 7, Ji-hoon ordered. The ship teleported across space, appearing next to another group of fighters. More quantum torpedoes fired and more aliens died. The Vorthak pilots were skilled warriors, but they were fighting an enemy they could not see or understand. The remaining fighters tried to spread out, hoping to surround the invisible ship. But the silent thunder could appear and disappear anywhere it wanted. Each time it attacked, more alien fighters exploded. "They're learning," Kang Ho warned. "The big ships are firing randomly into space, trying to hit us by luck." Green energy beams cut through the darkness around them. Some came very close to the silent thunder, close enough that the crew could feel the heat through the hull. "Take us in close to the first dreadnought," Ji-hoon ordered. Dong-yun piloted the ship toward the massive alien vessel. The dreadnought was huge, covered with weapons and armor that could stop normal human attacks. But the silent thunder's weapons were far from normal. The ship appeared right next to the alien's hull and fired antimatter missiles directly into the enemy's side. The explosions tore through the Vorthak ship like it was made of paper. Green blood and alien atmosphere poured out into space as the dreadnought began to break apart. "One down," Dong-yun said with satisfaction. But the other 2 alien ships were not stupid. They had figured out that the human vessel had to become visible when it attacked. Now they concentrated their fire on the spots where the silent thunder appeared. "Hull damage on Deck 3, reported Engineer Soman from the engine room. "The stealth system is overloading. We can't stay invisible much longer." Ji-hoon knew his ship was strong, but not strong enough to fight 2 dreadnoughts in open battle. He needed help, but the nearest human fleet was days away. Unless he used the emergency frequency that was never supposed to be used. Ghost Protocol 7 was the most secret communication channel in human space. Only a few people in the entire galaxy knew it existed. If Ji-hoon used it, he would reveal that humanity had been hiding advanced technology for years. "Kang Ho, open a channel on Ghost Protocol 7, he ordered. His weapons officer looked surprised. "Sir, if we use that frequency, the whole galaxy will know we have secret ships." "I know," Ji-hoon said. "Do it anyway." Kang Ho's hands moved over his controls. The message went out on the special channel, encrypted so heavily that it would take alien computers years to decode it. "Ghost Protocol 7. Kepler Station. They need us now." For several seconds, nothing happened. The silent thunder dodged more alien fire while its crew waited. Then Kang Ho looked up from his station with wide eyes. "Sir, I'm getting a response. Admiral Kang Hee-won, 7th Fleet. She says they're coming." Ji-hoon felt a wave of relief wash over him. Admiral Hee-won was a legend in the secret fleet, one of the few people who knew about Earth's hidden military program. If she was bringing the 7th Fleet, then the Vorthak were about to learn what humans could really do when they stopped pretending to be weak. A Vorthak energy beam struck the silent thunder's hull, making the entire ship shake. Sparks flew from damaged control panels as the stealth system finally failed. "We're visible," Dong-hyun announced. "They can see us now." Both remaining alien ships turned their weapons toward the small human vessel. Hundreds of guns prepared to fire, ready to turn the silent thunder into floating debris. "Hyperspace rifts opening," Kang Ho suddenly shouted. Multiple ships coming out of jump space. Space began to tear open around Kepler Station. Through the rifts came ships unlike anything the Vorthak had ever seen. 30 vessels emerged in perfect formation, their hulls shining with armor that flowed like liquid metal. "This is Admiral Hee-won to Captain Nam Ji-hoon," came a calm voice over the radio. "Good work holding them off. Now let us show these aliens what Earth's children can really do." The morning alarm rang at 6 o'clock in Kepler Station. Lee Dae-hyun walked to his office window and looked out at the stars. The mining station floated in space near a dying red star, far from Earth and far from help. 50,000 people lived here, mostly Korean families who came to work in the dangerous asteroid mines. Dae-hyun had been the station administrator for 3 years. He knew every family, every worker, every child who played in the recreation areas. These people trusted him to keep them safe. but today he would fail them. The emergency alarm started screaming at exactly 6:17 a.m. Daehyun ran from his office to the command center, his heart pounding. Park Minji was already there, her fingers flying over the sensor controls. She was the head of security, a tough woman who never showed fear, but today her hands were shaking. 3 large ships coming out of hyperspace, she said. They're big, sir. Really big. Daehyun looked at the main screen. Space twisted and tore open like ripping paper. Through the holes came 3 massive ships, each one 5 times larger than their entire station. The ships looked like living things with skin that pulsed and moved. Green lights ran along their sides like veins carrying poison. Vorthak, Daehyun whispered. Everyone in the command center went quiet. The Vorthak were the nightmare that haunted every human colony. For 2 years, they had been attacking settlements across the galaxy. They came without warning, killed everyone, and left nothing behind. No colony had ever survived their attack. No one had ever escaped to tell what happened. Sound general alarm, Daehyun ordered. All hands to battle stations. The station's warning sirens began to wail. All across Kepler Station, people stopped what they were doing and ran to emergency positions. Children were rushed to safe rooms deep inside the station. Workers grabbed tools that could be used as weapons. But everyone knew the truth. They were going to die today. Choi Ji-han looked up from his engineering station. He was young, maybe 25, with kind eyes behind thick glasses. Sir, should we try to evacuate? How long would it take? Daehyun asked. Ji-han checked his computer. The transport ships are slow. Maybe 6 hours to get everyone off the station. But the jump point is 4 hours away, and that's if the ships run at maximum speed. The aliens will catch them, Park Minji said quietly. No one gets away from the Vorthak. Kim Sun-hee sat at the communications station, sending out distress calls to anyone who might hear them. She was the youngest person in the command center, just 22 years old. Her parents lived on Earth and would never see her again. I'm broadcasting on all emergency frequencies, she said. But the nearest human fleet is 3 days away at best. Daehyun closed his eyes. 3 days. They would all be dead in 3 hours. What do we have for defense? He asked Minji. 2 patrol boats with old weapons. Some mining lasers that we can turn toward the enemy. That's all. The patrol boats were small ships meant to chase away pirates, not fight alien dreadnoughts. Their weapons could barely damage a cargo ship, let alone the massive bio-vessels approaching them. Launch the patrol boats, Daehyun ordered. Tell them to buy us as much time as they can. Captain Yang Soo-hyun commanded Patrol Boat 1. Lieutenant Hwang Myung-soo flew Patrol Boat 2. Both men were veterans who had fought space pirates before, but they had never seen anything like the Vorthak ships. This is Patrol 1, Yang's voice came through the radio. We're going out to meet them. Wish us luck. The 2 small ships undocked from Kepler Station and flew toward the alien fleet. They looked like toys next to the massive Vorthak vessels. Each patrol boat had 4 missiles and 2 laser cannons. Against 3 dreadnoughts and their fighter escort, they were hopelessly outmatched. Enemy fighters launching, Minji reported. 200 of them. Through the station's windows, Daehyun could see small ships pouring out of the alien vessels like angry insects. Each fighter was as big as their patrol boats, but much faster and better armed. The battle was over quickly. The human patrol boats fired all their missiles, destroying 6 enemy fighters. The Vorthak response was swift and brutal. Green energy beams cut through space, hitting both patrol boats again and again. Patrol Boat 2 exploded first, taking Lieutenant Hwang with it. Patrol Boat 1 lasted 30 seconds longer before Captain Yang's ship broke apart in a ball of fire. They're coming for us now, Minji said. The mining station had laser drills that could cut through asteroid rock, but they were not designed for war. The operators did their best, destroying several fighters as they approached, but most of the alien ships got through. Green beams struck the station's outer hull. The lights flickered as power systems overloaded. People screamed as sections of the station lost atmosphere. Emergency doors slammed shut, sealing off damaged areas. Many people were trapped on the wrong side of those doors. Section 7 is gone, Ji-han reported, his voice breaking. Complete hull breach. We've lost life support to the entire North Wing. 2,000 people lived in Section 7. Now they were floating in space, frozen and dead. The Vorthak fighters returned to their motherships to reload their weapons. The 3 massive alien vessels moved closer to the station, preparing to finish what they had started. Their main guns began to charge, green energy building up along their sides. Daehyun looked around the command center at his people. Minji stood at her station, still trying to coordinate defenses that no longer existed. Jihan worked desperately to keep the power on. Soon he continued sending distress calls that no one would answer in time. "Open station-wide communications," Daehyun said. His voice reached every person still alive on Kepler Station. 48,000 people heard his words in their homes, their workplaces, their hiding spots. "This is Administrator Lee Daehyun. The Vorthak have come for us, as they have come for so many other colonies. Our defenses are broken. Our ships are destroyed. We cannot run and we cannot hide." He paused, looking out at the alien ships that would soon end everything. "But we are not defeated. We are Korean. We are human. We came to this dangerous place to build something good for our families. We worked in the mines and made a home among the stars. The Vorthak can destroy our bodies, but they cannot destroy what we created here. They cannot destroy our courage." Tears ran down his face, but his voice remained strong. "To our families on Earth, we died with honor. We stood together until the end. We were not afraid." The Vorthak ships finished charging their main weapons. Death reached across space toward Kepler Station, ready to add another name to the list of colonies that no longer existed. But in the last second before the end, something impossible happened. The alien ships began exploding. Space ripped open like torn cloth around Kepler Station. Through the holes came 30 ships that looked like they were made of liquid starlight. The 7th Fleet emerged in perfect formation, their hulls covered with armor that seemed to flow and change color as they moved. Admiral Kang Haiwan stood on the bridge of the Incheon, watching as her fleet took their battle positions. The 2 remaining Vorthak dreadnoughts were caught completely by surprise, their weapons still pointed at the damaged Silent Thunder. "All ships, this is Admiral Haiwan," she announced over the fleet communication system. "These aliens have been killing our people for too long. Today we show them what happens when Earth's children come home." Captain Jin Mik-young commanded the destroyer Busan, one of the smaller ships in the fleet but no less deadly. Her ship carried quantum torpedoes that could pass through any shield and explode inside enemy hulls. She had been waiting 2 years to use them against the Vorthak. "Busan ready for attack," she reported. "All weapons locked on target." "Begin attack," Hwon ordered. "Show them no mercy." The human fleet opened fire at once. Space lit up with weapons that the galaxy had never seen before. Quantum torpedoes phased through Vorthak shields like they were made of air, exploding deep inside the alien ships. Energy beams twisted space itself, creating gravity wells that crushed enemy fighters like tin cans. The Vorthak had never faced anything like these weapons. Their bioships, which had seemed so powerful against normal human vessels, writhed in agony as molecular weapons tore them apart from the inside out. Captain Nam Ji-hoon watched from the Silent Thunder as the fleet he had called came to save Kepler Station. His small ship had been fighting alone for hours, barely surviving against impossible odds. Now he was part of something much bigger and more powerful. "Silent Thunder, this is Admiral Haiwan," came the voice over his radio. "Move your ship to a safe position. We'll handle the rest." "Yes, ma'am," Ji-hoon replied. "Thank you for coming." "We never leave family behind," Haiwan said simply. Lieutenant Commander Ryu Dongwoo sat in the control center of the carrier Daegu, coordinating the fighter attack. His pilots flew ships that were connected directly to their brains, allowing them to think and react at the speed of light itself. "Fighter Squadron 7, hit the enemy ships on the left side," Dongwoo ordered through the mental link. "Squadron 3, destroy those missile launchers." The human fighters moved like a school of fish, each pilot knowing exactly what the others were thinking through quantum communication links. When one pilot spotted an enemy target, all of them knew about it instantly. The Vorthak fighters, once the terror of human space, were being destroyed by the dozens. On Kepler Station, Administrator Lee Daehyun watched the battle through the cracked windows of the command center. The human fleet moved with perfect coordination, each ship knowing exactly where all the others were at every moment. "How is this possible?" Park Min-ji asked in amazement. "These ships are more advanced than anything we've ever seen." Kim Sun-hee looked up from her damaged communication station. "Sir, I'm receiving data streams from the fleet. These are Earth ships. They've been building them in secret for years." Daehyun felt tears running down his face. Earth had not abandoned them after all. While the colonies struggled against alien attacks with old weapons and worn-out ships, the homeworld had been preparing something incredible. The battle was becoming a one-sided slaughter. The Vorthak dreadnoughts, so massive and threatening just minutes before, were being torn apart by human weapons they could not understand or defend against. Green alien blood poured from their wounds into the cold vacuum of space. The second dreadnought is breaking apart, reported Captain Bei Su-young from the heavy cruiser Seoul. Her ship carried the most powerful weapon in the fleet, but she was saving the antimatter lance for something special. The Vorthak flagship, the largest and most dangerous of the three alien vessels, began to turn away from the battle. Its commander had finally realized that this was not a fight his people could win. The humans had revealed technology far beyond anything the aliens possessed. "The flagship is trying to escape," announced Tactical Officer Yu Kang-ho from his station on the Incheon. Admiral Hewan looked at the retreating alien ship through the main view screen. That vessel had destroyed New Tokyo Colony 8 months ago, killing 3 million innocent people. She had been waiting for this moment ever since. "Captain Su-young, you have permission to fire the antimatter lance." On the Seoul, Captain Su-young looked at her weapons officer, Lieutenant Kim Jae-ho. The antimatter lance was a weapon that should not exist according to galactic law. It violated several peace treaties and could destroy entire planets if used incorrectly. "Target locked on the flagship," Jae-ho reported, his voice steady despite the magnitude of what he was about to do. "Fire the lance," Su-young said quietly. The weapon discharged a beam of pure destruction across the emptiness of space. This was not like the energy weapons that most species used in war. This was antimatter, the opposite of normal matter. When antimatter touched anything made of regular atoms, both substances were completely destroyed. The beam struck the Vorthak flagship, and the massive alien vessel simply ceased to exist. There was no explosion, no debris field, no wreckage floating away. One moment the bioship was there, and the next moment there was only empty space and expanding gas where it had been. Complete silence fell over the battlefield. The remaining Vorthak fighters, seeing their flagship erased from reality, immediately stopped fighting and broadcast surrender signals. In less than 30 minutes, the most powerful alien fleet in this sector had been completely destroyed. "All ships, cease fire," Admiral Hayuan ordered. "Begin rescue operations immediately." The human fleet spread out around the damaged station. Medical ships moved in to help the wounded. Engineering vessels began emergency repairs to the broken sections of Kepler Station. Transport ships prepared to evacuate people from areas that could not be fixed. On the station's command deck, Administrator Daehyun opened a communication channel to the fleet flagship. "Admiral Haiwan, this is Administrator Lee Daehyun. I don't know how to thank you. We thought we were all going to die today." Hwon's face appeared on the main screen. She was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and gray hair pulled back in military style. Despite commanding the most powerful fleet in human space, she looked like someone's mother. "Administrator, you don't need to thank us. We're all human. We're all family. No one gets left behind ever. But how did you get here so fast? And these ships, this technology?" Hwon smiled sadly. "That's a very long story. The important thing is that you and your people are safe now. We'll have repair ships here within hours to fix your station completely." Around Kepler Station, the survivors looked up at the human fleet with wonder and hope. The stars no longer seemed cold and empty. Somewhere out there, Earth's children were watching over all the colonies, and they were not afraid of anyone. 3 days after the battle, news of what happened at Kepler Station had reached every corner of the galaxy. The story traveled faster than starships, carried by quantum communication networks that connected all civilized worlds in known space. Dr. Han Yujin sat in her office on Earth, reading intelligence reports from agents across the galaxy. As Earth's Minister of Colonial Affairs, she had helped keep humanity's greatest secret for 5 years. Now the secret was revealed, and alien governments were scrambling to understand what it meant. The Altarian Republic had immediately requested emergency meetings with Earth's government. The Centauri Trade Union had tripled their military patrols around human space. 6 smaller species that had been ignoring humanity's diplomatic messages were suddenly very interested in peace treaties. "Dr. Han, the Galactic Council is ready for your speech," announced her assistant. Secretary Park Ji-young Yujin stood up and walked to her office window. Outside, she could see the lights of New Seoul glowing in the darkness. Far above the atmosphere, hidden shipyards were still building more vessels for Earth's growing fleet. The journey to the Galactic Council station took 3 hours by diplomatic shuttle. When Eugen entered the Great Assembly Hall, she could feel fear and anger in the air. Representatives from 200 different species were waiting to hear what humanity had to say about the destruction of the Vorthak fleet. The Vorthak ambassador sat in the front row, his 6 arms crossed in fury. His people had lost their most powerful fleet, and now they understood that humanity was far stronger than they had believed. Next to him was the Altarian delegate, a tall woman with blue skin who had been trying to make Earth join their alliance for years. Representatives of the Galactic Council, Eugen began, her voice carrying clearly through the massive chamber. I stand before you today to address the concerns that many of you have raised about recent events at Kepler Station. The hall became completely silent. Everyone wanted to hear what the human minister would say about the battle that had shocked the galaxy. For years, you have watched as our colonies burned, believing us too weak to defend ourselves. Some of you offered help when it was convenient. Most of you did nothing. You saw humanity as a minor species, struggling to survive in a dangerous galaxy. She paused, looking around at the hundreds of alien faces staring back at her. You were completely wrong. We were simply waiting for the right moment. Angry voices erupted from several sections of the assembly. The Vorthak ambassador jumped to his feet, all 6 of his arms waving in rage. You lied to us, he shouted. You made us think you were helpless while you built weapons of mass destruction. Eugen looked at him without emotion. Ambassador, your people have murdered millions of human civilians. You destroyed entire colonies without warning or mercy. Did you expect us to remain defenseless forever? The Galactic Peace Accords forbid the development of planet-killing weapons, called out another delegate. The antimatter lance aboard our cruiser Sol is classified as a ship-to-ship weapon, Eugen replied calmly. We have violated no treaties. We simply built better technology than anyone expected. The Altarian delegate stood up gracefully. Minister Han, the Altarian Republic congratulates Earth on its impressive achievements. We would very much like to discuss a full military alliance. Before Eugen could respond, the representative from the Rigel Consortium interrupted loudly. The consortium demands immediate access to human ship technology. Our existing trade agreements include specific technology sharing requirements. Those agreements cover civilian technology only, Eugen said firmly. Military secrets were never part of any deal we signed. The debate continued for hours. Some species were furious that humanity had deceived them for so long. Others were eager to become allies with this newly revealed galactic power. The Vorthak delegation walked out when their ambassador declared that his people would never accept peace with lying humans who hide in shadows. But most of the galaxy's leaders were simply afraid. If humanity could hide this much military strength for 5 years, what other secrets were they keeping? Meanwhile, at Kepler Station, the repair work was almost finished. Administrator Lee Daehyun walked through the rebuilt sections of the station, amazed at how quickly Earth's engineering ships had fixed all the damage. The new hull armor is actually stronger than what we had before, reported Chief Engineer Choi Ji-han. And they've installed some new defensive systems. Nothing like what their warships carry, but much better than our old equipment. Park Minji, the head of security, was learning to use the new weapons systems. Sir, these plasma cannons are incredible. If any raiders come back, we'll be able to fight them properly. They won't come back, Daehyun said with confidence. Not after what they saw happen to the Vorthak fleet. He was right. Within 1 week of the battle, the Vorthak government had sent desperate messages to Earth begging for peace negotiations. Other hostile species were also reconsidering their aggressive policies. The galaxy had learned that attacking human colonies was no longer a safe or profitable activity. Captain Nam Ji-hoon was back aboard the Silent Thunder, but now his ship was part of a larger patrol group. 6 stealth destroyers working together, hunting the remaining alien pirates who had not yet heard about what happened at Kepler Station. Captain, we're approaching the Vega system, reported Lieutenant Yu Kang-ho. Intelligence reports say there's a pirate base on the 4th moon. Any humans being held prisoner there? Ji-hoon asked. 15 colonists from the cargo ship Lucky Star captured 2 weeks ago. Ji-hoon smiled coldly. Then let's go bring them home. The 6 invisible ships surrounded the pirate base like hunting wolves. The aliens inside had been planning to sell their human prisoners to slave markets in the Outer Rim. Instead, they found themselves facing the most advanced warships in the galaxy. The battle lasted less than 5 minutes. When it was over, the 15 human prisoners were free and safe, and the pirate base was nothing but floating debris. Back on Earth, Admiral Kang Hee-wan met with the planet's top military leaders. The victory at Kepler Station had proven that the secret fleet could work, but it had also created new challenges that no one had expected. Every major species in the galaxy is trying to figure out how many ships we really have, reported Intelligence Director Moon Chang-ho. Some of them are forming defensive alliances against us. Let them try, Hye-won replied calmly. We spent 5 years building the most advanced fleet in known space. If they want to test us, they're welcome to find out what happens. What about our colonies, Admiral? Asked General Kim Young-ho, who commanded Earth's ground forces. They're all requesting permanent fleet protection now. We'll give it to them, Hye-won said. Every human colony will have warships protecting them within 6 months. No one will ever again face extinction alone. On Kepler Station, Park Min-ji stood with her young daughter Ji-young in the observation lounge, looking out at the stars through the new reinforced windows. The little girl had been asking many questions about the battle and the mysterious ships that had saved them. Mom, why did Earth wait so long to help us? Ji-young asked. Min-ji thought carefully about her answer. Sometimes, sweetheart, you have to be patient and wait for the right moment to show how strong you are. Earth was making sure they could protect everyone, not just save one place. Will the bad aliens come back? No, baby. They know now that we're not helpless. They know that Earth's children always take care of each other. As mother and daughter watched, a patrol of human warships passed by the station, their hulls gleaming in the light of the distant star. The ships were beautiful and deadly, but more importantly, they were a promise. A promise that no human colony would ever stand alone against the darkness between stars. The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity was no longer seen as weak prey struggling to survive on the edge of space. They were recognized as a major power with technology and weapons that could challenge any enemy. Some species feared them now. Others wanted to be their friends. But all of them respected the strength that Earth had finally chosen to reveal. In the cold emptiness between stars, human ships patrolled the trade routes and guarded the colonies. The time of hiding in shadows was over. The age of Earth's children ruling their own destiny had finally begun.